Disclaimer, this video is educational and informative in nature. Do not contact anyone shown in this video. Also, this video is discussing steroids. Do not use steroids. This is entirely for educational and entertainment purposes only. Most bodybuilders just say one cycle, and that's the beginning of their entire journey. Little do they know, that is just the beginning of what's going to be 8, 9, 10, 12 cycles down the road, presenting massive issues with their life and health. And I think it's fair to say that substance abuse in the performance-enhancing sense can be really clouded in this glamorized self-destruction. It's seen as a good thing a lot of the times because you get a really sick physique out of it. To be fair, you can build a platform to create a business on, to build a career off of, to become a professional athlete off of. But at what cost? This is where Taylor Saylor comes in. I believe that's how you say her name. I could be completely doing this wrong, but she's an athlete we're going to be discussing today. And we're going to reverse the roles on this one a little bit because normally we go way back, but we're going to start at the very current. That was, of course, Taylor sharing with us some of her supplement stack. Missing a few things.
Before my meal one, I always take my vitamins. I do not take vitamins before my meal one because that'll just leave me feeling sick. I take fish oil, digestive enzyme, which is my favorite, vitamin C with glutathione, which is amazing, and of course a multi. Vitamins aren't necessarily needed when it comes to the start of your fitness journey. This is why they're called supplements. It's to supplement your diet. You want to get most of your micronutrients from food. These are low-key huge. I'm someone who struggles with taking vitamins low-key.
Now, to be very clear, Taylor won her IFBB Pro card and is basically by all rights a true career-driven bodybuilder. She has an amazing physique to back this up. She also isn't someone blatantly lying to her audience saying that she's natural and prancing around with that in mind all over the place. But I also haven't found anywhere to where she clearly said that she's not natural either. But let's just zoom out a bit because we know that Taylor now. But I want to show you the roots of where Taylor started. And as you begin to deep dive in the social media network that is 2025, you begin to find that she starts out like most people we talk about. A young person getting invested into the gym, seeing results and posting about those results with some traction.
Hey guys, a lot of you guys on my last TikTok commented, what kind of pre-workout you take? So I'll show ya. Ghost and sour watermelon. Yup. And then I take Ghost Pump and lemon lime. Yup. I mean, get it for some gains.
During this era, almost 5 years ago now, Taylor would pound pre-workout just straight up from the scoop, and it was actually one of the things that gained her some initial virality on TikTok. And don't get me wrong here, just because Taylor was younger and quote-unquote newer to the gym doesn't mean that she was small or unimpressive. Her physique was already pretty substantial. So it was a combination of flexing on camera with a really impressive physique and doing some interesting pre-workout shots that garnered her some serious attention. And over on Instagram, it wasn't much different, the same concept. But what you begin to see as you scroll ahead, not too far mind you, is that her progression in both strength and physique is really impressive. The time that it took her to get to a 235 deadlift with really good form is actually kind of nuts. Clearly, the girl has the genetics for strength sports and physique-related endeavors. And from there, the videos start doing numbers, you guys. We have her videos doing over 100K normally. And also, of course, the prep obligated to start is documented as well. And she placed third at this first prep. Is it just me, or have we covered like 3 girls who placed third in their first show ever? Maybe it's a sign or something? I don't know. Anyways, she gets married to a guy that she's been dating forever from what I can tell. Awesome stuff. Not really my business to get into, but I think that's awesome. Great for them. Seriously awesome. Of course, she also continues her journey as a bodybuilder, posting tons and tons of content. Like this girl, seriously, bro, damn. Like she posts so much fucking content. I'd be whipping through this shit and I'm like, holy fuck, this is one day and there's 8 posts. That's nuts. But she's also still getting stronger. And at this time, it seems that she is still natty, or at least I would hope, because she's claiming so.
They don't like you. but they find the time to watch everything.
And it's right around this time in 2022, February, that I think she does hop on cycle. Cycle referring to the cyclical nature of use with anabolic steroids within a bodybuilder's regimen. The reason for this isn't her voice, because she actually hasn't used that in any of the content that we've seen up until this point. She actually hasn't spoken since the first video I showed you, but it's because of the rapid changes within her physique, mainly her shoulders, traps, and arms, areas that are quite suspicious to be female dominant in. We also see slight facial changes here, and this is a very hard one to differentiate because it could be bulking between cutting, but there does seem to be some architectural changes. Now, to explain this, let's start with a pretty common entry point into PEDs for women, which is Anavar, or known as Oxandrolone. Now, why is Anavar the first stop for so many women exactly like Taylor, so many of the women that we talk about on this channel? Well, Anavar has the reputation. It's one of the quote-unquote milder anabolic steroids when it comes to side effects. It was originally developed to help patients regain weight after surgery or trauma, or to improve healing rates, and it's been used medically for treating muscle wasting diseases. But here's the appeal for women specifically. It's very anabolic, or muscle building, while being relatively low in terms of an androgenic capacity. Those are essentially the actions that would create masculinizing features. But relatively low doesn't even come close to none. Even small doses in women start to produce drastic physical changes. The thing is, Anavar binds to the androgen receptor, just like testosterone or any other anabolic steroid. When it does that, it triggers protein synthesis and muscle growth, exactly what we're looking for as bodybuilders. But that same activation of the androgen receptor, especially in facial tissues, skin, bones, and much more, can cause very specific and unique side effects that are considered to be male characteristics. So why would Taylor choose something like this? Well, very simply, it doesn't aromatize, or in other words, convert into estrogen, meaning minimal weight gain and hormonal dysregulation. While it still will dysregulate an endocrine system, it's not going to be as drastic as something that would convert into estrogen. It, of course, builds muscle, and it's quite easy to tolerate. Easy's vague here, but you get my point. Now, with the facial changes and rapid muscle growth, this is because very clearly upregulation of androgen signaling, and that does include skeletal muscle, but that also includes facial bones, skin texture. It includes your jawline structure, your mandible, and especially the distribution of fat on one's face. Think about this. Men and women have different facial features because of androgens, in part at least. Puberty hits, testosterone floods in, and suddenly the jaw gets sharper, brows thicken, and the cheek volume drops. So if you're taking a drug that mimics testosterone to at least some degree, those changes absolutely begin to manifest. Anavar also affects collagen turnover and specifically bone mineral density. It's part of the reason why it was so prevalently used, especially in cases where people had muscle wasting disorders or low bone mineral density. While this can be beneficial in medical scenarios such as healing, in high enough doses and for long enough exposure, it can definitely make cheekbones more prominent, reduce facial fat, and give a more angular appearance. Combine that with a rapidly changing physique and a leaner face, you definitely have some questionable appearance changes. I don't know what I was going to say there, but we'll go with it. That's exactly what I actually believe is happening here. We're starting to see those sort of precursor changes to her right now. This, of course, is just a postulation. During this period, she also picks up some sponsors, or at least that's what it appears to be, Anaka Power being one of them. And sponsors in fitness are definitely one of those tricky situations because it's kind of like a positive affirmation that you're doing the right thing, even if that right thing is starving yourself day in and day out, even if that right thing is using a ton of steroids, even if that right thing is photoshopping your photos. It gives you affirmation that I should keep doing said thing because it got me a sponsor and more money. But as we continue forward into 2022, later of the year, she actually posted one video of her talking since the first one we showed. Now let's compare that to where we started.
Hey guys, a lot of you guys on my last TikTok commented what kind of pre-workout you take. So I'll show ya. Ghost and sour watermelon.
Free Instagram post, a tutorial on how to post on Instagram and look good every time. Boom, flex your quads, make them look juicy, and then, get a little swag. Tilt the shoulder, do your thing.
Okay, there's some clear changes, but I can't be too sure that this is steroid related. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. What is very clear around this time though is that her body is progressively changing really fast. This video does bonkers. It's got over 10 million views, and she continues to post more after it, which get very relevant views as well. But this video is only a month after the one I showed you of her talking just a bit ago. And you can see that the comments are pretty bleak on the outlook of her being natural compared to an enhanced bodybuilder. Now, while I do think this is rude and commenting this kind of stuff helps nobody, it is a clear sign that I'm not the only one picking up on the traits of somebody using some pharmacology here. And even after this video, people continue to comment on her posts because she is a lot more jacked suddenly with the same kind of energy. Now, I commend her for keeping videos like this up because especially when you get into the multi-millions of views and you do incur a lot of hate, it's very hard to bear all of that. Trust me, it's a very unique situation. So good for her for staying robust and keeping that content up and focusing on the next piece of content that she has to post. Then there was this video.
What is up? I'm going to be trying the Ghost Bubblicious Strawberry Splash Energy Drink. I wasn't able to try this one last year. Didn't get my hands on it, but this year I did. So this is going to be a raw taste test. I think it comes close with orange cream. It is top tier.
Now, this is really important because this was only 2 months after this video. And at this point in my mind, I have no doubts that she's definitely using things and quite heavily using things. And I hope everyone's detecting what I'm picking up on here because I think it's quite clear. There is bigger and bigger octave changes each of these videos that we view. Again, it's a very telltale sign that a young female is getting into steroids without the awareness of what they may do. And I talk about these stories with a specific purpose of hopefully educating other people about what's going to happen if a female takes male hormones. Because we've talked about on this channel, women who glamorize this stuff, talking about how if you live in LA, it's the thing you have to take. Anavar is the thing you have to take, blah, 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 blah. It's quite literally just entirely editorialized and never talked down about. This is the downsides in real time. And this isn't just pertaining to Anavar. This isn't a side effect of Anavar. It is a side effect of all anabolic steroid use, especially within females. And the real result is when we start to fast forward a bit on her socials, we get this.
So I'll be trying the iced tea lemonade Ghost Energy. This is the perfect summer drink. This can is absolutely stunning. Taste test time. The perfect amount of carbonation. You get the lemonade at first and then the iced tea kind of smooths it out at the end. Yes, 0 sugar. Delicious, 10 out of 10.
Now, this is a far cry from where we started out at. And I want to be super clear here. If this is what makes her happy, I don't have a bone of hate in my body anywhere. There's like, go after this, girl. You do you. As long as you're happy, you're making money, and you're living your best life. I think genuinely, you do whatever you want. However, what I'm here to discuss is the importance of education around pharmacology, understanding the consequences of use, especially over a long period of time. And this is what you've just heard. This is steroids in a female's body. Just one more for you guys.
Honestly, I can barely speak English, so I wanted to I wanted to do this hardest English challenge. Jewelry, epistemology, remuneration, remuneration, remuneration. That should not be a word. Ventriloquist. I just said that. Zucchini. Zucchini. You're kidding. You're lying. Zucchini. Bro.
Now compare this to just a few years ago.
What is up, YouTube? What is up? So, long story short, I'm 1 week out. Exactly. Today, looking shredded. You know how it goes. And we're in Kentucky. Pretty much, we're going to get something to eat. I mean, I'll be eating the good old egg whites.
It's pretty crazy, right? So why does this happen? Well, in bodybuilding, you're pushed to a certain level. You have to bring more muscle mass and a more impressive physique every time you step on stage. And so that first show, you're very, very unlikely to place well because, well, you haven't gotten the years of experience that some of the other bodybuilders have. And so to play catch up, you have a few options. One, you could fly a kite where there's a very moderate and slow upward trajectory, or you could take the rocket ship, which shoots straight up at astronomical speeds. In other words, you could train naturally for a year and show up at that next show having gained maybe 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. I mean, realistically, a natural individual is bound to gain about 1/4 pound per month. If they're very genetically gifted, an outlier considered by data, that would be about 0.5 pound per month. Very, very, very rare occasions. But if you take that rocket ship, you're talking about 10, 12, 15 pounds by the next show, and that is insane. That wins a trophy. On top of that, you develop a brand for yourself, you get sponsors, you develop a functional business. Now, again, to each their own. I talk about this stuff in many videos, and I just want you guys to know the realness of what it is when women use steroids or really get integrated into fitness when they start getting some traction online. This is a perfect example of that. Now, as I've also said in many videos, there are many, 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 many alternatives outside of using anabolic steroids to develop an amazing physique. One, time is your biggest asset. Just take more time. You don't need these things. You can quite literally just, I don't know, do the work over a long time horizon, and eventually you'll get the results that you're probably looking for. Not many people are really used to investing things these days in totality, in finances and life and in their physique. But even then, you also have far more steps than you think before jumping onto anabolic steroids. There's numerous peptides that you could use. There's numerous compounds that are non-hormonal that still provide massive returns on investment when it relates to building muscle. You don't need to go the anabolic route right away, and realize if you do, you are signing up for a very specific outcome. Hey, listen guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. It means the world to me. I'm actually in my new house. I just closed on it today. Actually, I just moved in today, and I thought, why not record a video? Very cool process, by the way. Not really. Sucks. If you haven't been watching, I got hit on my motorcycle, my RSV4 100. Basically a 1100 brand new bike. I had it for 3 days. I got hit on it by somebody who was high, uninsured, and doesn't have the proper ability to be driving a vehicle. He hit me in an intersection, T-boned me basically on the bike. I flew off. The bike is, toast basically, and my ankle's fractured. Something's wrong with my knee. I don't know what yet. I also work with the VA, the veterans. It's a whole thing. So it takes a lot longer to get medical care. But yeah, this moving has not been fun for me. It's been painful. But holy hell, I'm so happy to be in a better room for YouTube content, and it just makes me super psyched to make more content. Thought I'd just say that. I'm super fucking psyched to make way more content. It really helps me when you guys kind of guide the boat where you want to go, because I found that if I guide the boat, sometimes the YouTube algorithm just hates me, to be real. So yeah, let me know what you think about what kind of videos I should make, and I'm happy to oblige if I can and spend some time doing the things that I love to do, and hopefully you guys love to view. So thank you for being here. Subscribe and like and comment if you can. All right, cool. We'll talk to you later.